Hi everyone, it's Fletcher here at Douglas Jackson, specialist in planning, analytics and insights. And today I'm joined by Abdul, who is presently a Operations Business Analyst at B2B Travel, and he's recently worked with brands such as Bupa. Hello Abdul, how are you today?
Yeah, not too bad, mate, not too bad. Just enjoying the freezing cold weather.
Oh, that's it. So, thanks very much for joining us today. So, obviously, what I want to do is just find out a little bit more about yourself and just have a bit of fun, really. So, we'll start off, obviously, working in the travel industry. We'll kind of see what's your favourite travel destination and why.
Well, I've travelled around Europe quite extensively. I'm also half Moroccan, so I've been to a lot of Arab countries. But I think my favourite place was probably Greece, just because it's got that good mix of relaxing beaches and more adventurous walks and mountain stuff you can get out and explore. Also, my Greek accent is dreadful, but because I'm quite dark-skinned, everyone there thinks I'm Greek and can speak Greek, and I have no idea. So that's always a fun interaction as well.
Great stuff. So what we'll do now, if you don't mind, give us a quick elevator pitch, really, and how you describe yourself in a sentence or two.
Yeah, so I'm an experienced planning manager and have a beginning to end view on planning. I've worked from intraday through to scheduling, through to planning, through to more strategic stuff, which was my recent role that people really sort of lent into. And I think that sort of broad approach to planning from the ground right through to management to strategic stuff is where my strength lies.
Great stuff. And what would you say is the biggest opportunity for your sector or skill set at the moment?
I think for anything planning or operational planning based, I think the big thing at the moment, obviously through COVID, is it's really opened up people's eyes to the opportunity of home working. Now, home working is a good thing for several reasons, but what it really does is open the marketplace up for you. The amount of skill sets, the amount of diversity that you can have a look at is great because of it. It also allows a lot of flexibility for when you're looking at creative shift patterns and opening times and things like that. Even if you're looking to switch between telephony and non-telephony modes of communication like web chat or just offline work. So I think companies getting more comfortable with home working really opens up a few doors for us to be a bit more creative in this field, I think. With the travel sector, I think even though it seems to be one that you would think would be under a large amount of pressure, I think it's bracing itself for a huge impact. Once the world starts to open up again, the demand is going to be overwhelming. So this is a good time now to sort of hunker down, make yourself as efficient as humanly possible. The worst thing you could do is sort of find yourself getting caught napping simply because your demand is low now, so everything's okay, right? This is the time to get as good as possible in the sector, because in 12 months' time, you're going to have unprecedented travel, I think. Exciting sector to be in and an exciting sort of business area to be in.
Yeah, great points. So I mean, what one piece of advice would you give someone wanting to progress their career in planning and analytics?
I think the key thing is that every planner essentially has a toolbox worth of skills. And when you start out, you get your fundamentals of how capacity planning works, how Erlang works, how call arrival works, the basic stuff like that, shift patterns. The most important piece of advice I would give people is make that toolbox as broad as possible. Broaden your horizons as much as possible. And the best way of doing that is through engagement. The easiest thing to do as a planner is to put your head down and just type away and do your stuff. It's really important to have that frontline engagement and be open to the fact that just because you have one system that works very well in one place doesn't mean it will in another. So you just need to learn as much as you can do and be as flexible as possible. Rigidity is the enemy of planning because it's very easy to fall into your set pattern. And that just opens up doors to things like strategy and the new world that I've gone into now, which is business analyst.
Great stuff. And what would you say has been your biggest career break? And if anyone, who would you thank for it?
I would say it came at Booper when I was working under a gent named Chris Roberts, who was the planning specialist at the time. And I learned a big lesson from it. Essentially, it was around trust. He was super busy doing some project work. And what he did was he just started to relinquish control of some of the things that in theory are part of his role, and people can be very precious about, to me, because he trusted me to do it well. He was always there for support. But what he did was he enabled me to have a skill set that meant that when I went for a promotion, it was an easy decision for the recruiters because I have already done it. I think it's really difficult to progress in this industry if you stick to your wheelhouse alone. Sometimes you're going to be doing things that aren't in your job description because you're learning and it's new for a year before you start getting paid for it. But then when you walk into that interview, you'll just destroy the competition because you've done it before. So yeah, Chris is trusting me really helped because it just opened up a whole new world of decision making and control, and that's the really big leap you have to go from processing to decision making. So yeah, that was a huge one.
Great one, yeah, great. And what inspires you and why?
I think it's very easy to think of this as a very procedural, numbers-based type of job role, but the fact is that you really impact people's lives because you control things like holidays, pay, efficiency. You'll sometimes have to do shift reviews. You'll sometimes have to do reviews of people's jobs and whether it's worth looking at redundancy for them. So the good thing for me in this role is that you have a direct impact on the company's profitability and its outcome and its strength, and also on people's lives. So if you can try and get the balance between always aiming at what's best for the company and also not just viewing people as numbers, I think you can get a lot of job satisfaction because you do have a direct impact on people's lives and also on the company. It's a good sort of balance between your frontline managers and your senior managers. Good little area to be in for it.
No, perfect. Yeah. Great. So yeah, well, that's great. Thank you very much for your time on that. It's been great to learn about yourself and your journey so far, and I'm sure you've got a lot more success to come in your career. You have recently had an experience of working with myself and Douglas Jackson. I mean, just out of interest, how would you describe that communication?
I've worked with lots of different recruiters over the years, whether it's as a recruiting manager or when I've been looking for work myself. And I've got to say, it's been an excellent experience. I think the two things that really stood out to me was a genuine feeling that you guys cared about where I was going and what I was doing and whether it was right for me. And that's not always the case. And I think that sort of personal touch made me trust a lot of the stuff. I think our interactions were very open and honest, and it just felt like a symbiotic working relationship as opposed to the usual. It can almost feel like a sales thing sometimes when you're working with a recruiter because they just want you to take a job. I genuinely think that there was a lot of care, and I think you guys actually would rather me not have taken a job if it was the wrong thing, that kind of thing. And that just built again, goes back to trust. It built a lot of trust, and it meant that I think that we could explore some really interesting options. So yeah, it was really good.
Great. So well, Abdul, I say thank you very much for your time, and obviously I hope the travel industry keeps growing, and obviously I hope your career at ITC is a very successful one.
Yeah, can't wait. Really excited for it, and again, thanks for all your hard work on it. It's been brilliant.
No, great stuff. Thank you very much. Cheers, Abdul.